Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. Thanks for checking it out. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the new movie, Amsterdam. We're going to take a look at our favorite parts, our least favorite parts, and give this thing an overall score. Now, with an all-star cast in this movie, and this great director and writer, this should be a fantastic movie, right?
Real Frank.
All right, let's get right into it. Amsterdam. Amsterdam's about, in the 1930s, two friends witness a murder, are framed for it, and uncover one of the most outrageous plots in American history. Now, it's supposedly based on a true story. This movie has an all-star cast with an all-star writer and director, just to name a few of the cast members because it's huge. I'm sure you've seen the advertisements for this movie. Christian Bale, John David Washington, Margot Robbie, Chris Rock, Michael Shannon, Mike Myers, Taylor Swift, Robert De Niro, etc., etc., etc. It goes on and on. A lot of people in this movie. And the director is David O. Russell. Now, David O. Russell also made American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, The Fighter, and Three Kings. This movie has to be a masterpiece, right? The next Goodfellas, the next Godfather, the next brilliant Academy Award nominee movie of its time with this cast and director and writer. Woo! Were we in for a surprise with this? An epic failure, in my opinion. With all this talent, this movie, was a snores fest, I'm telling you. Well, let's take a look at some of the stuff here. So the movie starts off with General Bill Meekins, Christian Bale's character, and John David Washington's character were in the military. They served in the military, and this general was who led them in the war. So the daughter, who is Taylor Swift, feels that her dad was murdered, not died of natural causes. So hires them two to try and figure out if that is the case. Now, Christian Bale character called Burt, he's a doctor, and John David Washington's character is a lawyer. They're still very good friends. So that's how the movie starts. They do a little backflash. Shows when they were in the war. Burt, Christian Bale, lost his eye in the war. He got stabbed in the eye. John David Washington ended up getting some cut. And Margot Robbie's character, I believe her name is Valerie in the movie, it was the nurse that worked on him when they were in the army, when they came into the tent, I should say, the doctor area, whatever. So they became friends. Anyway, they all moved to Amsterdam, and they lived in Amsterdam for a while. Now, the ongoing thing here is this movie. I'll sum this movie up for you. All right, I don't want to take a lot of your time regarding this movie, in my opinion. I'm gonna give you the biggest summary of what this movie really was, and here you are. That's the best way I can sum it up for you. This movie was a snores fest. This movie took forever to get through. It wasn't that funny. They tried to add some funny scenes with Christian Bale's eye kept falling out throughout the movie. At some point, he had to pick it up. He was worried about it not looking right or looking straight. So that's how they submitted to make it kind of funny. He kept losing his eye. Here's another scene where he lost his eye, his glass eye. I mean, that gag was getting pretty old. It's a very slow, drawn-out movie. The only part of the movie that I was fascinated, other than Christian Bale's mole, of course, his mole distracts the hell out of me. I don't know how he can see. I would imagine this mole is sticking out here, and it'd have to be his peripheral vision every time he looks. Now, he is a phenomenal actor. All the people in this movie did a phenomenal job acting. But the writing of this movie, it was just so slow. So you kept waiting for that moment. That moment never comes, man. Even that big pinnacle part is like, you Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. Now, maybe you're into his movies, this David O. Russell. I mean, I like to enjoy his other stuff, but this one was just a bore fest. And the way they advertised it, I think they kind of knew it too, because they didn't really tell you too much. They just showed you all the people that were in the movie. A lot of the people that were in the movie only had a very small part. They weren't very big parts, except for the main three. You know, Christian Bale, John David Washington, and Margot Robbie were the main characters. And then you throw in Uncle Bob De Niro, you know? Of course, he's going to get some people because he's a fantastic actor. Like, I'm going to tell you, all the acting was fantastic. It was just the story itself was boring. Now, the other thing that was kind of distracting, or I was always curious, is how they did that glass eye part. Now, there's scenes where Christian Bale taps his eye and they go tink, 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 and how could you touch your eye, man? If you ever wore contacts or you haven't worn, you touch your eyeball. Every time I try to touch mine, it blinks. I can't do it. And Christian Bale was doing it. I don't know how he did that. When he go tink, 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 that was phenomenal to me. I was more enamored with that, how they were doing this whole glass eye thing with him. Because there's scenes where his eye's up here and he's over here. That was fantastic. I don't know if Christian Bale can do that or they did a little CGI there. But that was the most intriguing and entertaining part for me in this entire film. And then here's where you get to meet Robert De Niro. He plays a general about this period of time. I don't want to give too much of it away if you want to see it. I don't want to give any spoilers away. But he has a part towards the end of the movie, and it's a pinnacle part. But that's it. I really don't have too much to say about this movie because, like I said, best way for me to describe this movie for me. Maybe you like it, but that's how I define this movie. So I'm just going to go ahead and score this movie and move on. So, overall, I give this movie 2.8. It's very disappointing because of this cast. This acting was great, but the movie, the story itself, was so slow and so boring. In my opinion, don't go see it at the theaters. If you want to see it, wait for it to come out, stream it. When it comes on HBO Max, Showtime, Netflix, Paramount, wherever it comes out, watch it there. Don't go to the theater to watch it. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor. Unless you're different than me. Maybe you are. Maybe you'll like it. But it's not worth it to go see the show. That's just my opinion. So overall, I give it a 2.8. That's my review for Amsterdam. Thanks for watching.